Hello and welcome to the show. Yes, this is live where anything could happen. In this third episode of Video Marketing for Startups, we're talking again to Gary of Twinings Security. Following on from last week's show, Video Marketing Strategy, we'll be creating Gary's video production plan as we follow his journey week by week. So, welcome back, Gary. How are you doing?
Oh, good, Tim. How are you guys?
Yeah, really good. So how's your week been? How's your weekend been?
For me, it's been very busy. I mean, last week I was all down in Plymouth. This week I'm on a site visit. So I'm currently somewhere in sort of the southwest part of England doing a site visit for a big festival which is coming up. And later in this week, I'll be back in London doing some more tenders and site visits and then reviewing some of our venues ourselves, which is going on.
Right. So consequently, you're in your vehicle at the moment by your job then. Is that right?
I'm not far away from it. It was
Not far away.
I was outside in the sunshine, and then suddenly it's just pouring down with rain. So now I'm in my car. So
Okay.
Car.
Well, we do what we need to do. This is live. This is how it works. So just to recap, for those of you that have only just tuned in, Gary and his team provide close protection, man guarding, door supervision, first response and undercover teams for companies and individuals in the private and public sector. I'm also once again joined by our highly respected digital marketing expert and entrepreneur, Olando, Salina. Mate, how are you doing today?
Hello. I'm good. I'm joining Gary actually. I'm also in my car, parked outside. I'm visiting a client today, so we've just finished up our meeting. So not enough time to get back to the office or a quiet coffee shop. So because this is live and anything can happen, I decided to jump on that bandwagon and stay in my car.
And it is happening. I'm feeling left out, actually. I think I should go and get in my car.
I think you should go and get in your car, Tim.
Go and get in my car. So I'm Timothy Spiers, content creator and marketeer, and I run Slipstream Creative Agency. So we're here every Tuesday, 12:30, discussing video marketing and production and all that good stuff. So the purpose of this channel is to demystify video marketing and help all you guys create better content that's purpose-driven and is distributed effectively, creating better businesses for a better world. So thanks all you guys for tuning in. If you like to put in the comments where you're from and what type of businesses you're in, it's always interesting to know who is tuning in. So just to kind of set the scene, online videos are so popular and powerful that they increase the click-through rates of emails from up to 200 to 300%. Videos on your landing pages increase conversions by 80%. And the video consumption trend is on the increase, as 59% of execs report preferring video to text, and 72% of consumers would rather learn about products and services via a video. So with these great stats, why do some video marketing companies fail with their campaigns? Well, really, it's simple. They didn't create a proper strategy or a well-formed, well thought out plan. So it's key that you know your marketing, that you're making video for the purpose it's being made for, the problem you're solving, the solution you're going to give, and what you want your audience to learn. And also remember to keep your message short and uncomplicated. Just 3 key facts are really helpful, much more, and it's difficult for us to retain all the information. So let's look at that. And let's see, we've got Lou has joined us. Hi, Lou, how are you doing? Lou from Essex. And Lou works with Animal Charity. So that's interesting. Here we go. There's Lou. Hi, Lou. Gary, last week we discussed video content that will help you develop your personal brand, your position as a thought leader, and to be an expert in your industry, and to build your brand awareness and your network and authority in your industry. Would that be about right, Gary?
100%, Tim. Absolutely.
And I mean, is there anything there that you think should be added in, or you'd like us to particularly focus on?
We were just talking about myself. I mean, I see myself as a specialist in the security industry.
Yeah.
So, a thought leader definitely as a specialist. As I say, I've been 34
Yeah.
years frontline, working from sort of the basics right up until 3.4 million people events. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So it'd be good to really focus and drill down on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So in the video content marketing cluster model we talked about last week, we looked at what your pillar pieces of content would be, which at first can seem complicated, but let's look at your services and break it down. So I'm just going to share a screen here. So if you just bear with me a second. Let's see if I can
work the magic.
Work the magic. My tabs. Here we go. Share. Here we go. So, Gary, as we can see here, we're looking at your services. I've kind of put them into three main boxes. These sort of professional services, looking at static guard, door supervision, concierge, medics, and events. They seem to all sit under this kind of professional service. Would you say that sounds about right?
Yeah, on the basic level, that is the basic what we cover: static guarding, door supervision, concierge, medics, and we do events. So yeah, that's on the basic level. 100%.
Yeah. So then I looked at specialist services, your quick response, your penetration, infiltration, undercover, close protection, and just other more specialized services like that. And they seemed very much those fit under the public sector, SME, and corporations. And then, of course, you've got the training arm that you talked about, where that would be more towards security guards or security firms that want their guards to have further training, or security guards that are looking to get into the industry. Do you think that's, for you, a good way of splitting up your business into these different sectors?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's giving a basic idea. We've got our basic stuff, which is, again, the static guards, door supervisors, concierge, and medics. And then we're looking at more professional, more specialist part of the industry, which we deal with. And then finally, you said the training. The training is the basic side. I mean, we could split the training even further up, but just on the basic level, that's what we cover, yes.
Yeah. Okay, really good. So, Olando, I'm looking at this, and we've been talking about this, of course, and we're looking at the different sort of pillars here, being the professional services, the specialist services, and the training side. So, would you think they would make our good pillar pieces of content? How do you see that helping with our video marketing?
Well, this, as we said, is quite foundation as to what we need to put together in order to deliver a successful strategy. So, as I said, we've done some research. We've identified the three key areas that we need to support from a marketing communications perspective. Broken down into the professional services, and then broken down further into the different audience types. So then we can start mapping out what types of messages that will resonate with these guys, and so too for the specialist services and the training. Right. So from this foundation, or these core pillars, as we've identified them, is we can actually start mapping out messages that will resonate with each one, and you will get better interaction with each of these different core audiences. Obviously, as it relates to the platform that we will put these up on.
Okay. So, I mean, that makes sense to me, because I think, Gary, what we're talking about here is you could make, let's say we make three main core videos. So one is about your professional services, and then you can talk about what that covers. So it could be quite informative and educational for people that are doing searches. So there might be an events manager that's doing an internet search. So we would look for popular titles that will be using keywords that he's searching for, but you'll be creating this video content, and then you could be talking around that. Does that make sense to you, Gary?
Yeah, 100%. I get that totally. So we specialize it. Well, we're working on the first section, and then we're breaking it down into those videos. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And then we could do the second pillar piece of content would be about your specialized services. So then you can we can script out video content that's all about what that encompasses and the different kind of things you offer as your main core piece, and just really keeping that message quite simple. And then, of course, the same with the training. We could do a core piece where you can just talk about the type of services that you offer. So again, if there's security guards doing that internet search, how do I get into the industry? Your video will pop up and you'll be like, look, we offer these courses covering this, that, and the other, without going into too much detail on the different courses, but just an umbrella conversation about that. And then that can be used more precisely for the video marketing. That said, Olando, those are aimed at different audiences, clearly. How would you use that for our audience's benefit in the video marketing?
Right. So obviously each audience will want something different or need something different from the services that Gary offers. So each one of these videos will be tailored to that specific sector. So professional services like a security guard or company, obviously, that provides security guards, they may need two things. They may actually want security guards itself. They may want training for the security guards. So they're looking for two different aspects of it. The special services, so the quick response, they're looking for something specific as well. So each message will be tailored to each one of the services that we do. The only thing that needs to be consistent throughout all of it is your branding, your mission, your vision, your values, what you stand for as a company. Right. So if you have a strap line, if you have a jingle or that you, for example, like McDonald's, for example, we're loving it. Whatever that is represents your brand. That needs to be consistent. So regardless if they see a video that is put out there for professional services versus training, that element always tells them that this is from Twinings. Yeah.
Okay, really helpful. Just to bring our audience back in the game here, if you've got any questions for our panel here, please put them in the comments and we'll jump on as many as we can, and we'll get to your answers. So please just pop them in the comments, and so we can share them with the audience. Thank you. Also, Olando, we looked at some different questions that are typically used on the internet and from our research. So should we just have a quick look at that as well?
Yes.
So if I just bring us up to these pages here, because in our research, we looked at the typical questions that people are typing into the internet when they're looking for different types of security services. So Olando, do you want to just expand on that?
Okay, so again, coming down to your keyword, you want to be found for within relevance of what you're trying to put out there with the messages. So there are lots of different tools that will help. Search engine optimization on your website is one thing, but you can also optimize your videos to be found on the likes of YouTube and all the social channels. So for example, there's lots of questions. Not all will be relevant. So as you look at this chart, they have like, why are security guards important? Well, I think that's quite obvious, right? They ask questions like, will security guards be a thing of the past and now be automated? That's another thing. But then the more relevant questions, if someone's looking for, let's say, as a job in security, what types of benefits or salaries do security guards get? And then more specifically for corporates, it'll be local security firms in my area, security firms that offer close protection. So obviously you can't get all the keywords in there, but you can actually repurpose the same video for different keywords and
Right.
get that in the script, get that in what you're saying, and then when you actually post that up in the captions, so that it's
Yeah.
quite more relevant to the search terms you're trying to get found for.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. And
Does that
when we
make
were
sense,
looking,
Tim?
say again. Sorry.
So does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Can
I thought
you
you were going
hear
to
me?
say something like, "Tim, your audio is not working." I'm like, "What?" um, Yeah, and when we were looking at this, it was quite interesting using these sort of charts that we create here. And, the darker green is the most popular questions into the lighter green. And this is kind of people who are going, which type of security company? How do security companies? So when we're creating content, if we use these in our titles, we know that's what people are searching for. And so, we can use that in our titles. So that really helps us with the SEO and the for the search. And there were some quite interesting things that come up. We've got another sheet here. So this is where people are asking, can you, what with, and different questions like that. So again, we would use these a lot, but there's clearly was also a lot of security guards, looking for things like, for example, how do I get trained? How do I get qualifications? And things like that. So these are all really key topics we can look at. So when we go back to looking at your services here, if we're talking about training, we've could create your core pillar piece, and then we'd create little cluster content around that. So it might not necessarily be about these specific SIA courses, DS courses, CP courses. It might be about information around how to get qualified as a guard, and then you could do some information, some educational pieces around that. That will then also lead into, and we offer these courses, and that can work as your call to action for that. Does that make sense, Gary?
100%. I get that fully. It's good. It's a good idea. I like the way you've set that out in the PowerPoints as well, because they're good questions. I like the way you say you put that green there. So
and I'll also jump in here as well.
The most irrelevant to the major relevant, and we can work on those, and we can start producing the videos on those bases.
Yeah,
I mean, particularly like the one you can a security guard arrest somebody. That's a video in itself.
Yeah, and I think for you, because this is what you're passionate about, what you know about, I think you're not going to have to do some heavy duty scripting here. We just need some bullet points that you'll talk about, that you're getting your key messages across, making sure we've got, a proper intro to it, proper call to action at the end. Which also, Olando, brings me onto a question I've got for you, which is around call to actions. Can you just tell us a little bit more about that? Can you hear me, Olando? I've lost him. Right, okay. Right, well, while we're waiting for Olando to come back in, I'm just wondering, do we have any questions from the audience? So Lou's still with us, and we've got a question here. Let's just show this question while Olando's clicking his buttons. Lou's asking, if I want to do live video, like you're doing to promote an event for the charity, where do I start? Previously, they've only been doing flyers and posters. So really good question there, Lou. What I would say is, yes, of course, absolutely. And you could either, go straight into doing some video ads. And so they would be, made specifically for your promotion. But but if you want to sort of immediately get eyeballs on something that's about to happen with an event, that's what I would suggest there. A longer term strategy is kind of more like we're talking about doing with Gary, which is creating a digital footprint and his authority in the industry. And so as we go through time, that's really bolstering his SEO. And so he's going to come up through natural search, through organic search. The beauty of that is it's kind of free, isn't it? Right. So apart from the video production, the editing, the post-production, and you could be filming it yourself, you could be marketing it yourself. So therefore, your costs are like super low. Obviously, with using paid ads, there's one thing is creating the videos, but the secondly, you're paying for your Google advertising or Facebook advertising. On that, we would normally recommend going down the social media advertising route because it's like you get bigger bang for your buck. Basically, you get eyeballs on a very precise audience that's relevant to your subject, and the cost per click is a fraction of what you'll pay for Google. So that would just be my comments around that. I'm just looking to see, Olando, are you back with us?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Right, okay, we've got Olando back. So, Olando, I had asked you a question, but I'll come back to that. But I've just brought Lou into the room where we've just looked at her question about creating videos to promote an event for a charity. So what I've just talked about is there's two routes: using paid advertising, making a video specifically to promote an event, as opposed to what we're doing with Gary, which is creating videos to help with his SEO, which is creating organic traffic, which is free apart from creating the videos and any marketing support around that. Yeah. What other advice would you have for Lou, and what direction would you say would perhaps work for her specifically?
I think because it's a charity with it's a charity one, and it's to deal with animals. You can do, if you're doing a LinkedIn live, you can do a Facebook live or an Instagram live. To obviously when events are happening or when there are people doing stuff with the animals, so you can actually build up some sort of momentum and awareness for what happens on the days while at the site or at the charity, and use that as a platform to try and get people more interested.
Yeah.
So that's a live platform, and then from an organic perspective, again, you're there with the animals. Animals tend to do some crazy things, some cool things, and you can actually capture that and use your social media platforms, because especially now that it's summertime and people are doing staycation, parents are looking for things to do locally with family, as a family, with kids, and it's a nice day out, to go to an animal related charity, to do, obviously, one, to support the charity, two, to entertain the kids, and three, as just a nice day out with the family and friends.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's great. I think that's really good advice. So just while I've still got you there, I was just talking about with Gary's videos and the cluster content around it, so the little short videos that all sort of point back to his main pillar pieces. But also we're starting to talk about call to actions, so with our videos, we talked at the beginning, I talked about the key factors you need into a clear message directed at the specific audience, but also having a good call to action. So for Gary's got these different sectors. What would work as good call actions for these different sectors?
Actually, before we even get to the call to actions, there's something I wanted to mention when we were talking about it before you lost me, or I lost you.
Fine.
So even though we want to include the keywords that we want to be found for, we want to try and obviously work it in such a way that we are not found for the things that we don't want to be found for. For example, we're not, if you don't want to find, if you don't want people to be coming to you, Gary, to be a security guard, because you're not doing that. You have a specialist team. You just don't want just someone to be a security guard. You don't want to be found for that stuff. So that in part of the messaging, you're not going to be putting up is salaries for security guards or local security guards. You want to be found for specialist security team, or cruise protection specialists, So it's actually getting the keywords right. So negative keywords, what you don't want to be found for, and positive keywords, which you want to be found for. Right.
Okay.
And then obviously that leads into your call to action. So again, it all depends on what you want people to do. Is to tell them and tell them again. So I want you to subscribe to my channel because I'll be doing this on a weekly basis and you can learn a lot from me. I want you to actually download a form and complete it because we're interested in the skill sets that you have. I want you to schedule a call or consultation to see if we are the right fit for your business. So the call to action is based on obviously each of the pillars as well and what you want people to do.
Yeah, perfect. Does that make sense to you, Gary?
100%. Yeah, I fully get that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So really, Gary, we've talked about your services, your core pieces of content and other sub-content around that. So I think that what we'll do now is we'll just write those up for you and we'll plan out for our video shoot, just for the audience benefit. We've already put in a time slot to do some video production. So we'll just, from this conversation, we'll take the core pillar pieces. So we'll plan 3 videos for that, and then some short breakaway videos to help support all of that. So Gary, how does that sound to you? And are you up for the challenge?
Well, I certainly am, Tim, because I know we've already booked in a video session. So to answer your question, I am. I'm ready, willing, and able, as I say.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks very much.
Because that's the other profession Gary wants to go into. It's a bit of face modeling as well.
Yeah.
well, thanks for saying that, Olando. I think I'm a very good actor, model, and superstar. But thank you for now.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I'm sure you are. We'll see. We'll put you to the test.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to the challenge.
Brilliant. Okay, so let's see now. Next week, what we'll be bringing to you is how this video production went. We'll show you a bit of the behind the scenes, and so I think it'll be like quite a lot of fun. So really looking forward to sharing that with you guys. So thanks very much, Olando and Gary, for your time today. It's been amazing, really helpful. So next week, as I say, we'll be sharing the video production, how it went, show you some clips behind the scenes of the production and what Gary's actually like in front of the camera. So join us next week and follow his journey week by week on this show. Of course, again, if you need support or advice developing your strategy or your production, your video marketing, just reach out to Olando and myself, direct message us. And we look forward to seeing you next week, next Tuesday at 12:30. Thanks, guys. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Tim.
All right. Cheers. Thanks, Olando. I think his sound's gone again.